Omega, Longines and Seiko. Today we're going to talk about Markus watch collection. Let's go! Hello and good afternoon everyone, Konstantin aka Mr. B back with another video, and today, as mentioned, we're going to check out Markus watch collection. Markus is a collector since a while. He does have Omega, Longines, Seiko in his collection. One of the Seikos is the latest released Seiko Sumo with the 6R35 movement, the green version. So I'm excited to get into the collection from Markus and see what else we can find there. Alright guys, let's check out the first watch, and I would say let's talk about Markus Tudor Black Bay. Tudor Black Bay Red, the 42mm version with the in-house Tudor movement. It's a great watch. I like the touch of red, I do like the rose gold hands, and it's a classic piece. You can't get wrong with it. It's a cool movement inside, it's a cool watch overall. It got, of course, a vintage charm, and it seems that Markus is a diver fan because there are lots of divers in his collection, and yeah, I'm a big fan of tool watches too. So it's a really great collection overall. But still, back to the Tudor. The only gripe I do have there is that he purchased it just on a leather strap. My recommendation would be to purchase a Tudor watch, or every watch, if possible, on the steel bracelet, because the price difference when you purchase new from the steel bracelet to the regular strap is there, but not as much as if you would get the strap afterwards when you've purchased the watch. Watch number 2, I would say let's talk about Seiko, the first Seiko, and of course let's talk here about the Seiko Sumo. He got the green version. It's the latest release from Seiko. It's the one with the 6R35 movement inside, a gorgeous green dial. I do like what they did with the bezel. I'm not a big fan of the old Sumo, or yes, I'm a big fan of the old Sumo, but not of its bezel or of the figures on the bezel. This is improved and it's really a stunning piece. Tool diver, well, it's more like function follows design. It's a nice design piece. I would say a Turtle or an SKX is a better tool watch, but still the Sumo is a beautiful watch. It's a great watch. It does have its tooly design, and it's a beautiful design piece. So overall, thumbs up for the Seiko Sumo. Big fan. I have to check it out when I'm in Tokyo. 100%. Great piece. Okay, watch number 3, actually 2 watches. Reason behind this, he does have 2 of the latest Omega Seamaster 300. On the one hand, a two-tone one with a rubber strap. On the other hand, the steel one with a blue dial, blue bezel with steel bracelet. A good choice, because now he can actually use the steel bracelet on the steel gold one, which looks fine from my point of view. Just a hint of gold. Or he could use his rubber strap on the pure steel one, which looks also cool. But it's a blue dial, blue bezel, the steel version, so with a black strap. Nah, not sure about that. But still, it's a really cool combination. From my point of view, just my point of view, I would have gone just for one Seamaster. There are lots of divers in this collection, so I think the steel gold has a touch of gold. It's a nice thing. It's like a little bit of a wild card, well, sort of. And I think if I would be Markus, I would let go the pure steel Seamaster, because there are plenty of other divers, and use the steel gold, the two-tone Seamaster with a rubber strap for the more sporty, elegant occasions, maybe. What do you think? I think it's great to have 2 of them, but one is enough. And there is a lot of Omega in the collection anyways. But check out the next watch. The next watch in his collection is a Seiko. It's a Baby Marine Master, and there the party version, which is interesting. I do like it. What I found interesting here is that Seiko, which normally do have the red marking on the bezel from 12 to 4 o'clock, choose to do it here with this party version from 12 to 3 o'clock. It's alright, it's good looking, it's a classic looking watch. I do like the Baby Marine Master from its design, from its size. It was really comfortable. Seiko themselves do offer this version just on the rubber strap. The rubber strap you can also find on the current Turtles. I do like the strap, but I'm a bracelet type of guy, so I know that Gnome Watches does offer this piece as a Gnome limited edition or special edition, as well on a steel bracelet for a little bit higher price. This would have been my choice, to be honest, because as I mentioned, I do like steel bracelets. It looks great, it's a great piece, and you can play around a little bit. You can throw Uncle Seiko waffle strap on it, which would look awesome too. It's a decent tool diver. I do like the coin-edged bezel, and overall no complaints. Cool piece and a great addition, a more tooly addition to the existing Seamaster divers, from my point of view. The next watch I would like to talk about is the Longines Hydro Conquest. And guys, they are going to be a little bit nostalgic, because I do like Longines. I do like Longines a lot. Longines was one of the first watches I checked out when I was on the market for my first real mechanical watch. I purchased then later on the Marcello C. Tridente, and sometimes I'm really angry with me that I did that. I do like my Marcello C. Tridente a lot, but I think or figure I would have been better off with Longines, because it's not a Submariner clone. It does have its own design clues. You do have the snowflake hand, and they were there before Tudor, well before the re-release of the Black Bay. Anyways, you do have the figures 12, 6 and 9 o'clock on the dial. It's a really great balanced piece. I think it's a classic watch. It's a classic modern dive watch. Longines, the brand itself, does have a very long history. They were great watchmakers. They do have, even now, great designs. They are a little bit under Tag Heuer in the Swatch Group, but they do benefit also from being in the Swatch Group, because they do receive or get ETA movements which are just made for them. So you do have the master collection, where you do have like the chronograph, which is amazing for a very competitive price, considering the amount of complications you've got there. And the chronograph never is an easy movement to make, and it's exclusively produced from ETA for Longines. So this is something to think about, and I do like Longines. Do I see this in this collection in the future? I'm not sure. I definitely do see a Longines, but I think there's something dressy missing. But let's get into that later on. Monster! Okay, let's talk about the last two watch. Let's talk about the last two Seikos in his collection. There's one Omega left to review. Let's pick the Seiko Monster. It's the latest Monster, also the latest introduced one. We do have here, of course, again the 4R36 movement inside with a dated complication. Black bezel, blue dial. I do like how they developed or evolved the Monster from its predecessors. Yes, of course, I know there are a lot of purists, Seiko purists, who love the old way, or the old Monster, the orange Monster, but I cannot agree there. Yes, I do like the older versions as well. The newer one looks a little bit more refined. Couple of you guys might say boring. Let's just think of the personal taste, I guess. Now my screen went down. No, it's like really like personal taste. And I'm a big fan of the current Monster. Seiko did design so many icons, especially in the diver world. The Marine Master, you do have the Turtle, you do have the Monster, you do have the Sumo, you do have the 62 Mass. they are a great brand. They have had a huge impact on the whole watch market. They changed the world with the quartz movement, the watch world with their quartz movement, and I can respect it. And this is the reason why I want to have also a Seiko diver in my collection. It doesn't matter that it's an entry-level diver. They have their unique designs, the design they created, the design they made iconic over the years, and this is something which really gets me. Yeah, you can complain a lot about quality problems, about not accurate movements, and honestly, I don't care. I can check for myself whether the inner ring is aligned well or not. I can check by myself some faults, some complaints before I purchase the watch. The movement, I'm not a second hunter. Yes, of course, when it runs away out of specs, yes, I of course will complain about this. But overall, Seiko is an iconic brand, a very important brand in the whole watch world. Everyone should have some Seiko in its collection if you are really into watches, because they are part of the history. And they can be named with the other big brands. From my point of view, don't know what you think about, but yeah, I really, I really can enjoy these small Seiko divers. So let's talk about the last Omega in the collection, which is the Omega Speedmaster Man of the Moon. What should I say about this, guys? I do have my Speedmaster in my collection since 2012. I made a couple of videos about that particular one. I made one about my dislikes, which you guys hate, really. I stand up to the issues I found there. I really stand up. I love my Speedmaster, but I stand up again. I stand up behind these complaints I presented there. But so much hate. The internet is a dark place. It really is. No, but really, it's a racing chronograph which made it to the moon and became famous and back. It's a classic timepiece. It's a beautiful watch. Keep this in your collection. It's actually the only chronograph in your collection, Markus. So we have to do something about that afterwards. But yeah, let's continue with another watch, the last watch, the last Seiko. Alright guys, let's talk about the last watch from Markus, or the last watch in Markus' collection, which is of course the Seiko 62 MAS. It's a SPB 079J1 with a blue dial, with a blue bezel, and what a blue it is. From my point of view, I'm a bigger fan of the Baby Marine Master, because I prefer, when we do talk Seiko divers, to have the crown at 4 o'clock. I don't know, I'm a weird old man. Well, it's just the thing I do prefer. I do like when the diver does have the crown at 4 o'clock. It's a J version, it's a blue version, so this one does come again on the rubber strap. I would go for the steel bracelet again, but I can't complain about it. It's a dial, it's beautiful. It works also very well in combination with the Marine Master, the Baby Marine Master, with the Pepsi dial, total blue dial, and total blue bezel. It's cool. The Pepsi dial. I did say Pepsi dial, but I did say Pepsi bezel. It's late, guys. I'm sorry for this. And yeah, the blue is amazing when you have this in your own hands. I don't know how they made the bezel itself. It's really a shiny one. It's hard to describe, but it's really a watch worth to check out. And this is an amazing thing about Seiko. 4 divers, side by side. The Baby Marine Master, the Monster, the Sumo, and the 62 MAS. And all look different. Well, at least from my point of view, it might be that people which are not into watches do think I'm crazy and they say they are all the same. For me, they are different, really different. And this is what I do appreciate and really like with Seiko and their divers, that there are so many variations, so many options. It's just a cool piece. Okay guys, this concludes Markus' collection. Markus, what shall we do with you? Well, I mentioned it before. From my point of view, you do have a great collection, but a lot of Seiko, a lot of Omega, and pure dark dials. So I mentioned this watch before. I think, without considering any emotional bondings or feelings about one of these watches, sell the Longines Hydro Conquest and purchase another Longines. I mentioned the watch before, the Master Collection Chronograph Annual Calendar. So you do have a color chronograph there. You do have at 6 o'clock a moon phase, at 9 o'clock a 24-hour indicator, and at 12 o'clock, besides the subdial, of course, of the chronograph, you do have the month and the date complication, combined with a pointer date and a silver dial. This would really fit perfectly in your collection. It is, from my point of view, at least a dress watch, but it isn't. It looks a little bit sporty. Yes, just 30 meters of water resistance, but you do have already plenty of divers you can take to the beach, from my point of view. And I think this culinary chronograph would sit perfectly beside your Speedmaster. It's a silver dial which would mix perfectly with your other dark dials. And sometimes you need a little silver or brighter color in a collection to, yeah, freshen it up. And this is the only recommendation I would like to give you. Check out the Longines, and now we talk about the important thing, about you guys. What do you think about Markus' collection? What would you add? Do you say, Konstantin, I agree with you, go for a slight lighter dial with a slight brighter dial, or for this Longines? Or do you say, you're stupid, let him purchase a white dial diver or something else? Let's discuss it in the comment section below. Write to me, write to Markus, of course. I'm eager to learn about your recommendations, guys. It was fun with you this time. I hope you do have all a very happy weekend, a good start into a new week. I look forward to see you in the next one. Take care. I do say goodbye and auf Wiedersehen. Euer Konstantin. Ciao, guys.